Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. Our last one for 2024, but we got some pretty interesting topics to get to. We're going to talk, and the show is titled "NBA's Crazy Money." Hang around, folks. You're going to have a lot to digest with this particular topic. Introducing my crew for the final ride in 2024. We will be back on the air on January the 8th on Wednesday. So hope you can join us then. Meanwhile, we hope everybody has a great holiday season. With that said, Pensman Sports, welcome back, Mr. Pensman.
Thanks for having me. Let's get it on.
You're welcome. All right, Candy, I'm Blake.
Thanks, Scott. Great to be here. Great to talk, before the holidays, sports.
Oh, yeah, plenty of those, all right. And Mr. Ellis, welcome back to the big show.
Always excited to be here. A lot of stuff going on this last week.
It sure is. Well, it's so hard to keep up with a lot of this stuff, but it is what it is. We'll do the best we can and try to find some things that'll be appetizing for everybody. But it's great to be in the James family. LeBron's salary alone for this year is $50.7 million. And get this, the Bronny's jersey sales revenue this season is $50 million. $50 million for Bronny's jersey sales. Seriously? Really? Pensman, take it from there.
Too much money. Way too much money. Bronny's not even made a name yet. LeBron, I can understand LeBron getting it 15 million, but Bronny, come on.
50 million, brother. 50.7 to be specific. Ronnie,
way too much. Way too much.
Candy, give me something to work with here.
So I'm going to give you another number. Adidas signed Milwaukee Bucks star Damian Lillard to a lifetime contract extension. The financial terms of the deal are unknown. However, the 8-time All-Star signed a 10-year contract with the apparel giant in 2014 with a cap worth a maximum value of approximately $100 million. That was back in 2014. Can you imagine what this lifetime contract is worth for him? Big amounts of money. That's what it's going on.
Hey, Joshua, the only hockey you'll be on, and if by chance you come up with something interesting and it's worth talking about, nothing planned, but I won't rule it out in the chat room as long as it's kosher. What do you think, Joe?
Well, first of all, congratulations, Candy, on the Bucks winning the NBA Cup.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Secondly, listen, people like jerseys. There's nothing wrong with that. I have tons of them, and I personally like to buy the ones that are on sale because I don't think they're worth all the money that they charge. So I'll buy guys that are traded from the team because you're buying a jersey to represent the team. If you really want that player's jersey, by all means, go and get it. But I don't believe in spending full price for jerseys. As long as they look cool, that's all I care about. And as far as Lillard's contract with Adidas, good for him. He to me is a one of the better NBA athletes. I love who he is. So glad for him. As far as Bronny, like I said, people love jerseys. Go for it if that's your thing. Enjoy it. I wouldn't go out and buy a Bronny jersey.
I've always respected Damian Lillard. I really have because of the fact that he did such a great job when he was with the Portland Trailblazers. You don't get any publicity. He goes to Milwaukee with a much better team. So good, more power to him. Doesn't mean that the NBA Cup is going to earn anything, as Darvin Ham found out last year, but we'll proceed from there. All right, all I'm going to do right now is just put up a few hockey notes. I have a great story here from Phoenix, which is really a good story. But, since it is a sports exchange, it's fair. Anybody that wants to comment, feel free to do so. Rangers are in a big slump and traded Kako, I believe, he went to the Seattle Kraken. Sabres are an 11-game losing streak. Yeah, I know the owner talks to the team. Lindy Ruff is in a tough situation. And let's see what else we have. Panthers-Oilers game was great. Okay, there you go. That's your hockey. The rest, and okay, there you go. I'm covering the Flyers and the Wings now and Panthers afterwards. All right. So there we go. We have our pseudo-journalist covering things, Joe. I never mentioned anything about pseudo-journalist in the book, but now you have a new version of it. But since Joshua Dorr likes food topics, this one's right up his alley, okay? And this is a great gesture by Phoenix Suns owner Matt Ishbia. Get this. The Phoenix Suns introduced a $2 value menu for all games. A hot dog is now $2. It was priced at $9. 16-ounce Dasani water is $2, and it was originally priced at $8.50. A 16-ounce fountain soda, or in Michigan terms, pop, is $2, and it was priced at $6.50. A bag of chips is $2, and it was priced at $7. And popcorn $2 to $7. You know what? Maybe this is what you call the real, the grandma of all the food. But I'll take a few hot dogs if I'm not in the press box. What do you think, Penguin? How do you like this gesture by Matt Ishbia?
It's a good deal. I like it. It's not bad price. I would get it. It's not bad.
Would you? How many hot dogs did you eat?
Probably about 4. I'm getting older, so probably about 3 or 4.
It's okay. Blows. There's always an exception in this situation, especially when it's newsworthy, and the Phoenix Suns are giving it for $2 a piece. What do you think, Candy? How do you like? Is the price right?
I think with the price of the ticket, I'm sure is astronomical. So the people that you're getting in, you need to get value for your money. So discounting the food tickets, I mean, let's face it. When we go to the grocery store these days, it's astronomical. What you used to be, you used to be able to get a cart full of groceries and feel like you brought something home for $100. Now you maybe have 2 or 3, 4 items. It's kind of crazy. So kudos to them for, giving the concession stands a break so that people can, enjoy themselves.
Hey, Blows, you said you need 6 hot dogs. We need you on July 4th. Then again, you know what? Joshua Dorff says he needs 12. His record now is 12. But yeah, no, we need to get him involved with Joey Chestnut. What do you think, JB? You think we need to get this guy involved with Joey Chestnut for hot dogs?
I want to see the 12 hot dogs. I got to see it. But listen, it's a great move. He gets it. These guys are these fans spend a lot of money to come see your team. You're making millions of dollars. You own something that's worth billions of dollars. Look at what they did with the Georgia Dome, the price of concessions there. That's where it started. They saw that they were actually still making tons of money by having reasonable concession prices. And for whatever reason, the owner in Phoenix saw this and he took this move today. And I have a lot of respect for him for doing it because, it's easy to keep the price high. You can charge $7, $8. You can't go outside and come back in, run to McDonald's and get a value meal or, Taco Bell. Once you're in the arena, you're in the arena. So
Right.
you basically have the right to charge whatever you want because you can't get anything anywhere else. But
Right.
he did what was fair to the fans. I hope the fans are appreciative of it because he didn't need to.
Right.
Like I said, he has exclusivity when you're in that building,
Right.
but yet he still did this. So to me, that says a lot about who he is as a person. And I guarantee you that's still all profit within the $2. He's still making a profit on everything he sells because no hot dog when you're buying in the bulk that he's buying costs $2. No soda costs $2. No popcorn costs $2. So it's all profit. So still good for him, though. He just cut down on the amount he's going to make. But I guarantee you he'll make a lot more with publicity and goodwill with the fans.
Well, sure, me well with publicity. He's got me talking about it, right? I'm talking about it.
Yep.
So is everybody around the country. Seriously, right? Everybody talking about it. Let alone with the fact that talk about cutting the prices on the food so they can buy souvenirs. Yes, they do sell those at arenas too. So souvenirs, people. Spend your money there. Go out there and eat all the dogs you want. Too bad they don't have refills. Of course, nobody would give them refills. So that's okay. I like what Matt did. More power to him. All right, Joe Ellis wrote a story on this guy, and I've been chomping at the bit to get it on. I'm glad Joe's on tonight. Is Russell Westbrook of the Denver Nuggets an appreciated basketball player? What do you remember writing about this, Joe, when you talked about Russell?
There's a lot of bad press about Russell Westbrook. How he's a selfish player.
Right.
He's only in it for the stats. And I look at it completely different. He's a guy that can do everything. He's averaged a triple double in a couple of seasons. He, has how many triple doubles, and how many in a row at one point. The guy just plays with heart. He wants to compete, and for whatever reason, people just, you know, think he's selfish. He's all about stats. And, I look at it the other way. He just plays with heart. I want a guy that's hustling and wants to do things and wants to make plays.
Okay. Excellent. What do you think, Candy, about Mr. Westbrook?
He gets a bad rap, but he reminds me of a scrapper. Like he's always out there working, whatever he needs to do to try and get the job done, I guess. Is he, let's face it, the NBA, most of them, I love Scott's term when he talks about the NBA as the National Drama League. And so there are so many other people, any of the guys in there that are drama and want attention. And I'm not saying that Russell doesn't, but he comes in, does, works hard every single game. He's gone from one team to another team. Maybe he hasn't gotten the respect that he deserves. But he's a hard worker, and at the end of the day, that's what he signed up for.
Ben?
Russell Westbrook was awesome at the Oklahoma City Thunder. JB, it was 4 in a row that I know of on top of my head because I remember him doing a whole bunch of stats with Kevin Durant with him in Oklahoma City. But when he got traded, he was by himself, so he didn't have Durant to be his big brother or little brother. So I can see where he's going with the stats because he's used to that with Durant. So it's what Candy said. He's a scrap player now. So he's changed. He's changed a lot since he got traded. I just wish he
Well,
would.
you know what?
You know what I'm talking about, Scott, when he was with Oklahoma City?
Oh, I remember his days. He fit in well. In fact, I actually predict Penguin that one of these days he'll retire as an Oklahoma City Thunder player. I really do.
He should.
The
He should.
right poetic ending should have him retired here. But here's the thing: Michael Malone, his coach over at Denver, loves this guy. He really does. It's always great when a coach loves you, believes in you, and will leave you alone. I don't think he's had a lot of coaches that have loved him, believed him, and left him alone. And this Russell Westbrook could play in the 80s and 90s. He's that kind of a player. Candy summed it up best. He is a scrapper. And today's NBA, the reason why the ratings are so bad and the hack that you have to have an NBA Cup is you don't have enough hard-nosed play and you have to deal with too much load management. This guy doesn't load management. He's called old school, hard school basketball. The NBA needs more players like Russell Westbrook. That's why, JB, when you went out there and wrote the story, I read it. I said, we're going to make this a topic because it was that good. And it's everything the NBA lacks. It really is. I mean, Michael Malone, it's just a shame that he is going to get the bad rap. But Russell Westbrook, you're very much appreciated by a lot of people. And I hope you just continue to play hard and get the most out of your NBA career. Because here's what's going to happen. Down the road, when his playing days are over, this guy is coach material. He really, really is. All right, Katie, go on to a station break.
You're listening to the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. If you see the red subscribe button, please hit it, like us, share us with all your friends and family. Monday nights we talk baseball. Tuesday nights we talk football. Wednesday and Thursday nights you never know what we're going to be talking about. But we also published a book late last year called Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has changed and evolved. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Get your copy today. Get a copy for a friend. Any young person that's aspiring to get into the media business, it's a great read for them. Plus, if you like sports, he's got all kinds of sports people and topics in there. Go get your copy today. The other thing is there's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there's also a link to our merchandise store and a plethora of great writers, including Scott and JB. And I dabble in some pictures, so there might be a picture or two up on the website as well. If you want to advertise on any of our shows or sponsor a show, you can call Scott 954-304-4941. If you'd like to be a guest on a show or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Candy. All right. Now that we've had our fair share of basketball, let's go on to football. How will Michael Vick do as head coach of the Norfolk State Spartans? All right, and we're going to lead off with you.
I don't know. I can't honestly see him as a coach. I can see him as a quarterback coach, but as a head coach, it's gonna be interesting. I think he's trying to be like Deion Sanders, but Deion Sanders had a mentor. I don't think Michael Vick. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. I want him. If he was gonna be a coach, I want to see him coach the Falcons because that's where he got his first coaching. So we'll see how it goes.
Interesting, Joe.
Listen, being a head coach is all about knowing how to delegate and having the right people around you. Anybody can coach, but if you don't have the right people around you, you're not going to be able to oversee everything that you have to in a football program without having the right assistants and the right staff. So how Michael Vick will do is unknown at this point because we don't know who his staff is going to be.
Right.
Once we find out what the staff is, I mean, he has the capabilities. He was a great player in the NFL. He knows the game. Obviously, I think he'd be much better coaching offensive stuff since he was a quarterback. But who knows? Maybe he, from doing that, learned enough about defense that he feels confident that he could bring something to the defensive game as well. But, to say how well he will do without seeing who he builds around him, it's hard to say.
Taking the same path with Deion Sanders, I believe that Norfolk State, aren't they an HBCU college, if I remember right? I believe they are.
I believe so,
well,
yeah.
But anyways, Candy, what's your take on this?
I too have the wait and see approach. It does depend a lot on who he hires. I also think he hasn't coached at any level. I understand that he played the game and he's been a consultant a couple of times for the NFL, but college sports has changed dramatically with NIL and the transfer portal. And I don't know how familiar he is with that. So I think that'll be very interesting. I think that'll cause a couple of wrinkles, some more challenges, but that's where it's going to be very important that he gets the right support and hires the right players, the right people. Because if you've never been in college sports in the last couple of years in that arena, it's going to be a wake-up challenge because he played, but he played years ago and he was used to college sports back then, not re-recruiting everybody every year. And the team that he's taking over went 4-8 last year. So they're not a great team. Now, obviously, we know that when coaches leave, a lot of the players will go wherever they go to. We've seen that. We've seen with what's the bowl game that Marshall that they had 25 transfers because the portal opened way too early. It should not open before these bowl games. So 25 transfers out already, so they don't have enough team to even play the bowl game. So it'll be interesting to see.
State, I think.
So it's just crazy. But I wish him well. It's good to see that he's resurrected his career and that someone's taking a chance on him. I wish him well.
I'll tell you what. I'm intrigued by the hire. I'll tell you why. Number one, his mentor is Tony Dungy. Remember, Tony Dungy went to bat for him and got him another chance in the NFL. He learned from his mistakes with his dogfighting situation. and he's at Norfolk State. We're not talking about a major here. This is a good opportunity for him to get his feet wet. Yes, I know that, like you guys have said, okay, that you need to have a good coaching staff. But you think you're going to take 25 players out of the transfer portal from him? I don't think so. Here's a guy, again, we all know you're as good as your staff, but this is an everything to gain, nothing to lose situation for Norfolk State. Keep in mind, Sacramento State was also interested in hiring him too, and they would have provided him with a lot more resources than he's getting. But he's staying near home. I think you've got everything to gain, nothing to lose by this hire. There's name recognition. He's known in that area. If he can keep a lot of the better local prospects in town, that would be a good place to start. Norfolk State, you're talking about the metropolitan Washington area that encompasses Virginia and Washington, D.C. There's no reason why you can't find a lot of good players out of there. Go ahead, Penman.
Andy Reid is the one that gave him the chance. He's the one that got him out of jail and brought him to Philadelphia and resurrected his career. I don't like the Eagles. If you guys follow my channel, you know I don't like the Eagles, but Andy Reid is the one that salvaged him. If I was him, I would get one of Andy Reid's coaching staff, bring him down, and make Michael Vick an offensive coordinator first, just to see how he does and get his feet wet. Then, if he wants a head coach position, then give him a head coach position. But start him an offensive coordinator since he was a quarterback.
It's a good point. But again, I'll go back to say it's an everything to gain, nothing lose situation for Norfolk State. But I'm glad that you said that Andy Reid brought him in with Philadelphia, so you had a really quality individual. If you can't find two more credible people than you have with Tony Dungy and Andy Reid, then help me out. They're both Super Bowl winning coaches. They really are. And I've always been a firm believer, if you're a player, even if you haven't had big coaching experience, as long as you're around people, that's all that matters. Hi, Troy. How are you? Thanks for tuning in tonight.
What's going on, Troy?
So, again, when you got Tony Dungy and Andy Reid in your corner, you're not doing too bad. Michael Vick is an unknown. This is the right place for him. It really is. I'll just be curious to see what kind of players he can come out of with that Washington, D.C., Virginia area. Recruit locally. Let's face the reality, if he's any good, he's not going to be there more than 2-3 years anyway. Somebody else will want to move him up. But it's a good place to start. Once upon a time, Jim Harbaugh wasn't known either. And what did he do? Take the job at the University of San Diego. And I said the University of San Diego. And we all know where Jim Harbaugh went. Thanks, Troy. Virginia is a hotbed for talent. There you go. Thanks for making my point. So if Jim Harbaugh starts off at the University of San Diego, ultimately goes to Stanford, Michigan, and of course he's on his second NFL gig with, he started with San Francisco, now with the Chargers. Anybody heard of the University of San Diego? All I ever knew was San Diego State, not University of San Diego.
Right.
Take it from there. I wish him well. All right, we're going to go on to predictions for round one of the college football playoff, which is actually going to take place this week. And I'm going to go around the horn. Penman, you got number 8, Indiana, 11-1, and number 5, Notre Dame, 11-1. These two teams have not met since 1991. Tell me who you have.
I got Notre Dame on that one. I think they're just going to come out, sling the ball around, run the game. I just think Indiana's going to collapse.
Okay, I'll give you the next one, and we're going to do it this order. You've got SMU, number 10, against Penn State, ranked 4th, both 11-2 records.
Is that me again?
Yeah, you're gonna comment on all.
I got MSU over that. I'm hoping for that.
You mean
I think
SMU.
Penn State's going to win. Yeah. So.
All right, so you're going with Penn State?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Clemson against Texas. Clemson 16th. Texas 3. Clemson was 10-3, and Texas 11-2.
This one's tough, but I think Texas is going to get it by a field goal.
Okay, fair enough. And I think a lot of people are interested in this one. Number 7, Tennessee travels up to number 6, Ohio State. Both teams sporting 10-2 records. What do you got, Ben?
I think Ohio State gets it.
So, yeah.
They got a lot. They got a lot to prove because of them losing to Michigan, and because of the fight of Michigan. I think they have a lot of energy. I think they're ready to get going.
Okay. All right, Joe, you know the drill. Indiana against Notre Dame.
So this sucks because I'd love to see both these teams advance. I've been loved watching Indiana all year. One of the few teams I actually took time to follow all year. But I think Notre Dame is just a bit better. And after getting stunned by NIU earlier in the year, they're a little bit better than Indiana. So I see them winning this game.
Okay, got SMU against Penn State.
Supposed to be cold and snowy in Pennsylvania this week. SMU's coming from nice and warm Dallas. I think Franklin finally has a big game he could say he won. And not that SMU is a bad team, but hard for warm weather teams to travel into bitter cold weather and win football games when it matters.
Okay, Clemson, Texas.
I think Texas has more talent and is built better than Clemson right now.
Okay. And last but not least, we got Tennessee, Ohio State.
This hopefully should be a great game. I love the way Tennessee's rebuilt their program after being irrelevant for so many years. I hope they send Ryan Day and the Ohio State University home for the winter, and they could think about what they could do next year, because I don't like Ohio State, never did, and I always like Tennessee. So,
Candy, you're up next. You know I'll go over the game. Indiana, Notre Dame.
Indiana, Notre Dame. This one intrigues me because these two have not played each other for a very long time. Indiana's going to go into Notre Dame. Obviously, none of those players have gone into such an iconic place to play. I'm going to go with the upset. I'd like to see Indiana do well, so I'm going to go with Indiana.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm a Big Ten girl. I'm going to say Penn State's going to.
Well, let me go over the games individually, Candy. Okay.
Well, Penn State against SMU is the next game.
Yeah, that's next. Okay, go ahead.
So I was going to say, I believe Penn State, although I think SMU will give them a game. I think they showed their hand that they can play with anybody. So, but I think Penn State will take it to them at home. I think that gives them the edge. Whereas when I was saying Indiana, Notre Dame, because they are so close, there's not going to be as much of an edge of just the home field advantage in that game.
Well, just a little FYI out there. Candy, by the way, was born in Indiana, even though she's a Wisconsin girl.
I lived in Indiana for a whole year and a half of my life. So, yes, I was born there, but yes, I really say I'm from Wisconsin. So
she's from Gary, Indiana. Couldn't help it. Her dad graduated from Purdue. All right, or my father-in-law.
He got his master's from Purdue. He graduated from UW Whitewater, and then he got his master's at Purdue.
There you go. So now you gave two schools some publicity in Whitewater as well. All right.
Correct.
Onward we go. Clemson at Texas.
Clemson is on this ride, and somehow they always come to an occasion when they're especially playing in the playoffs. We saw how they took it, in the championship game, but I think Texas is their team, and I think Texas is going to take it at home.
Last but not least, you got Tennessee and Ohio State.
Joe, it pains me to say this because I am definitely not an Ohio State fan, but I think Ohio State's going to take it this one. As much as I may not want that to happen, you asked who I think is going to win, and there's a difference between who I want to win and who I think will win.
Okay. All right, let me get mine. I'm an Indiana Hoosier all the way over Notre Dame. I really am. I like what Kurt Cignetti's doing over there. National Coach of the Year. Did wonders with James Madison, and he's going to build a great program at Indiana. I'm riding the Hoosiers, and I'm going to stay with it, and I'm not changing. SMU at Penn State. I've been saying SMU for a long time over Penn State, but Dad, as I hear more and more about the weather situation, how do you not lean toward Penn State this time of the year? So I'll have to waffle and go with Penn State, although don't be surprised if SMU doesn't care about the weather and they could get that could be a game where you might have an upset in mind. Clemson backed in to this tournament because Miami Hurricanes did not hold up to their end of the bargain by beating Syracuse. So with that said, I'm going Texas. Last but not least, you have Tennessee at Ohio State. Got to go with the Buckeyes. Ryan Day's coaching for his job. He really, really is. So if he can eliminate some of that bad taste, he can do it. But I'd love to see Tennessee beat Ohio State. I probably would. Don't be surprised to see these two meet more often in the future because they are so close and the territory is what it is. In fact, don't be surprised to see Indiana and Notre Dame schedule more games in the future as well. But I'll go with Ohio State. Next, onward we go. NFL game that you're looking forward to, Pensman.
Well, it's not college, but I'm looking forward to the Steelers and Ravens game on Saturday night at 4:30. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Steelers have a chance to clinch division and hopefully getting that first round bye, which they desperately need after TJ Watt got hurt. But that's what I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the games this week, there's only a few decent games, but there's actually two that intrigue me. I like the Eagles Commanders. I think that's the big game, and Minnesota Seattle. The reason those two games stick out is, you have two teams that are tied with the best record in the conference, playing two teams that are trying to get into the playoffs. So everyone's going to be playing hard. Everyone needs to win those games. And I just think that the 2-12-2 teams will both win the games, but I think the other teams are going to show up, and it's not going to be as easy as it sounds on paper.
Candy?
One of the games that kind of intrigues me is the Thursday night game. Normally those have been really bad games, but I think Broncos Chargers could be a good game this week. They're both playing, that conference over there. They're both playing for stuff. Steelers Ravens, but again, I think the one that I'm looking forward to most is the Eagles Commanders because I do think that'll be a good game. The Packers play the Saints, so at home. I'm not expecting that to be a real great game, but what I have said is the Packers played really well against Seattle the first half last week, but I don't think they've played a game where they've really put together good 4 quarters. And so I'd like to see that because if they can put that together, they can start stringing as everyone's noticed last year, the Packers came on strong. They played better and better as the year went on. They were a dangerous team in the playoffs, and I think they could be a dangerous team again if they can string together 4 good quarters.
Okay. I'm going to go Lions and the Bears. Lions.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Lions had a tough game against the Buffalo Bills. They lose more players than you can snap your finger. But the reality is they should be able to beat the Bears. Dan Campbell will say we'll bounce back after a loss. We'll just see what players step up. Losing David Montgomery for the next few weeks isn't going to help, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs comes up big. The Lions have proven that they can go ahead and win on the road. They have 2 more road games coming up. They have this one, and then, of course, they have the December 30th tilt against 49ers on Monday Night Football. And then they wrap up the season at Minnesota. So I'll be curious to see how the Lions bounce back at Soldier Field. If you've ever gone ahead and seen a game at Soldier Field, I covered the Lions and the Bears there. It's unbelievable. And, of course, they've redone the stadium. Stand on that field and watch Lake Michigan rear its ugly head. I think Jake Biggs may have a hard time at Soldier Field this time of the year. Hopefully, you'll have a lot more touchdowns. But I'd like to see the Detroit Lions bounce back against the Chicago Bears. And don't get rest assured, losing isn't something they like this week. And when you get mad, then obviously your goal is to get it right. And the Lions have a lot at stake here, too. Right now, as it stands, they have the home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. So they know they have a lot to play for. There's no margin of error for anything with them being 12-2. Minnesota's 12-2. And as well as I believe the Eagles are. So neither of those teams seem to be letting up. And the Packers, obviously are playing good football at the right time as well. All right, parting shots. Pedman, lead off.
I don't have any right now. I don't have any this week.
You don't have anything on your mind? You want to get off your
No,
chest? Boy, life is
no.
good for
Well,
Penn.
just everybody, just go back to my post game show on Sunday and just rewatch that. That's about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a good coach, but he's a good coach, but he just needs to fix things. That's just it.
Okay, we'll take that.
Tomlin is just, I don't know. He doesn't know. He's time possession and clock management is horrible, and it's just one of the things that I love him as a coach. I respect him. It's just I want Bill Cowher type coach that knows the time possession. It's just one of those things. And if you guys been around football, you will know about clock. They had 10 first downs and 20 minutes of time possession against the Eagles. That's unacceptable.
Okay. I like it, actually. For a guy that didn't have no parting shots and he came up with that one, cooking it. Not bad, Penman. I like it. Good stuff.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a minute there.
That's all right. Got it on live air. We're live. We're live
Yeah, I
everywhere.
had to think about it
You
for a
get your
second.
podcast, YouTube, and all that. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. You know the parting shots. Give it to me.
I'm going to go out there on this one. So earlier on X, I seen the asshat known as Le'Veon Bell putting up a picture of Caleb Williams holding a pink smartphone saying, and you thought this guy wasn't going to be a bust. This coming from a guy who was a phenomenal running back and decided to tank his career by sitting out a year with a contract dispute and then signing with the New York Jets, who ruined everyone's career. So maybe before you talk about another athlete, you realize your career was a bust because you're an idiot. And maybe give Caleb a little slack that he got sacked 58 times this year. The disrespect that Caleb Williams receives is unbelievable. I don't think you could put Tom Brady on the Bears and he would be good this year. Any quarterback in the history of the NFL would not be able to do anything with this Bears team. They have no offensive line. Their previous coach, Eberflus, was horrible. The Thomas Brown doesn't look like he knows what to do as being a head coach. The situation's ugly. And it kind of sucks when you're the number one pick and you think you're going to go in there and do great things. And it's not set up for him to do that because instead of getting linemen and building what was important, they went out and got Keenan Allen, and they drafted Odunze, great pick. Odunze's got a lot of talent, but got to get him the ball. And you can't get him the ball if Caleb Williams is on his back the whole game, So I don't know. But Le'Veon Bell, you've confirmed to me that you're an asshat. Go hang out with Kevin Durant and Antonio Brown because the three of you, you think you're tough on Twitter talking all this stuff, but you're really just horrible human beings.
I like that. That was pretty good, Joe. Animated, too. Look at that. He talks about, I agree, Caleb Williams in a tough situation. Le'Veon Bell's the biggest bozo I've ever seen. Kevin Durant, I've never had respect for him, and Antonio Brown. Look where he's at now. He's bankrupt. All right, Candy, go ahead.
My prayers go out to Wisconsin. Wisconsin has seen a lot of highs this week, but they've also seen the lows. And what I mean by that is congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, they won the NBA Cup. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Brewers, who are going to be staying in Wisconsin because they just signed a lease extension through 2050. But we are reminded, and I don't know if any of you heard, but on Monday, there was a school shooting in Madison, the state capital in Wisconsin, where a 15-year-old girl killed a teacher and another teen, and then herself, and then there's other injuries, and some of those injuries could be serious and life-threatening as well. So from the high of highs to the low of lows, all I'm going to say is prayers to all of those that were affected by that school shooting or any school shooting. There is no place that should have to deal with that. From her parents to the parents of the deceased to any friends to any people that witnessed that. I can't imagine going through that, especially this time of year. So prayers go to all of them and anybody that's been affected by unsenseless, tragic taking of lives.
I don't have a parting shot. I have a congratulations instead. It's a Kenny Albert who tonight called his 500th NHL nationally televised game in Detroit as the Detroit Red Wings defeated, and I repeat, defeated the Philadelphia Flyers 6-4. I saw Kenny again over the National Sports Media Association, and we traded books. This is his book, A Mike for All Seasons. I gave him, and we exchanged my book for his, and he was nice enough to come on the Motor City Mad Mouth show earlier this year or later this year. I am so grateful that Kenny and I have maintained a good friendship throughout the years. And Kenny truly is a class act in every sense of the word. And to see him tonight on our last show of 2024, to me, is just incredible. Calling the Wings and the Flyers, who once upon a time played for the Stanley Cup, and the Red Wings came away with the 4-0 sweep. So, Kenny Albert, what can I say? You're a man of your word. You came on my show and promoted your book. We exchanged books. More importantly, you're a great broadcaster that can do everything. We need a lot more like him, and keep on rolling, Kenny. I'm sure 1,000 will be on your list next. But you've been great for 500, and keep up the good work, Kenny. So with that said, as we get ready to wrap up 2024 here on the Sports Exchange, Candy, why don't you give us a station break and everybody can go out there and let everybody know how they can get a hold of them.
You are listening to the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. If you see the red subscribe button, hit it, like us, share us with all your friends and family. Monday nights we talk baseball, Tuesday nights we talk football, Wednesdays and Thursday nights you never know what we're going to be talking about. It can be anything from a hot dog eating contest to NFL to college to baseball. You just never know. So tune in to see what we're talking about. Except the next 2 weeks. For the holidays, we wish everybody a happy holiday. We will not be any programming then. But we have a great gift idea if you still need a last-minute gift. Scott, the host here, wrote Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there's also a link to our merchandise store where you can buy sports apparel, t-shirts, hats, shorts with South Florida Tribune or Motor City Mad Mouth, whichever you prefer. You can also read all kinds of great articles and some pictures on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com. If you want to email us, if you want to be a guest or have ideas for the show, if you want to sponsor a show or advertise, call Scott 954-304-4941. Scott, I think if you like to listen to broadcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. Just look us up. Back to you, Scott.
Also, during the break, however, feel free to go to the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. We have a lot of shows that we've done throughout the year and during the course of the time that we've had the channel going. And I will be posting some of our better ones up during the 2-week break. So, if you follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you'll be able to find them there, and I will post them throughout the holiday season. With that said, Pensman, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
I have a YouTube channel, Pensman Sports, on YouTube. I will be streaming the Steelers and Ravens game on Saturday at 4:30. And I do Yankees content and Penguins content, and I am on X on Pensman Sports.
And also, you can see some of Pensman's content on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel as he simulcasts as well. Appreciate everything you've done, Pensman. I can see 2025 between you and us. It's a great situation. We're looking forward to building on that relationship. And we also appreciate the fact that you're willing to help us spread the content out on Twitter/X. All right, on to Joe. Go ahead.
So, of course, the website, sidelinesportsnet.com, sidelinesportsnet.com. Candy developed it. We all write on it. Got tons of pictures, articles, some Super Bowl coverage from last year, shows. Phenomenal. JB the program on X. Daily Dose of JB, something new that just started this week. You know, a quick 1-minute clip every day with what's going on in sports. Make sure you're checking that out. You guys don't have to be lonely the next 2 weeks while we're off and we're not doing shows. You get a minute of me every day. It's kind of like your vitamins. You know, you take that every day, watch it, Daily Dose of JB. Of course, Sideline Sports every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Won't see you for the next 2 weeks, but you guys have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody out there. Whatever you celebrate, you know, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, enjoy it, spend time with family. We'll see you in 2 weeks, but till then, a lot of good sports are happening.
JB, there's actually hope for you coming up with one-liners. There really is. Daily Dose of JB. Man, they're insults. How far have you gotten into my book? How much have you read it?
The whole thing.
Good. All right, go ahead, Candy.
So I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. But especially since this is the last one of the year, there's 2 special dates that I would like to call out. One, I want to wish Scott, my husband, a happy birthday. His birthday is on the 29th. And then our wedding anniversary is January 1st. So those are 2 important dates in my world. So Scott, happy early birthday and happy early anniversary.
Thank you, Candy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'll be darned. I didn't see that one coming. Very appreciative. But Joe Ellis, we need to have a conversation. Daily Dose of JB. What is that, like vitamin C? You got to have your nutrition. Yeah, you got to tie that into it.
Or Flintstone vitamin.
Yeah,
exactly. You can't live without it.
Let me tell you, Penman, I used to like that Flintstone vitamins growing up as a kid. Don't laugh at it.
Oh,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they were chewables, man. They were really good. Now, if you ever have a bad cough, you go to Robitussin, and they got those capsules there. I was so desperate, Candy went out and found them, and they helped a little bit. But I'm not here to give you medical advice. They don't pay me the big money to give you medical advice, or you'd be long gone in the eyes of Ernie Harwell if I ever gave you medical advice. Please don't forget that. So meanwhile, a great run. This is a crew you're going to see every Wednesday night. Once in a while, we'll have other people come in. We got the Pensman, who's obviously a new kid on the block with the Sports Exchange, plus the fact that he appears on Fire Up with Candy in the Country Club, right? And JB, well, we're just inseparable. What else can I tell you? We're just brothers from another mother. So, and Candy, you're the best. What else can I say? So, on behalf of Pensman Sports, JB Ellis, Candy Ebeling, and of course, for our Jewish people as well, happy Hanukkah as well. We want to thank everybody for joining us here on the Sports Exchange. We look forward to a bigger and better year in 2025. God bless and enjoy all the time with your family and all the memories that you create. Morris had 9 lives. We have to make the most of the one that we have. So I have to go out there and get that one-liner in as we close out the show tonight. Tomorrow on the network, we're going to have the Sports Exchange. We're looking to have our hockey guy, Rod Peterson, and George Eichhorn on, and Katie has Fire Up with Pensman as well. So on behalf of Pensman, JB, Candy, my name is Scott Morgan, North Florida City Madball. Thank you for joining us. See you next year. Happy holidays, everybody. Bye now.
Bye now.